All right. Well, our guest is ready. If you'd like to introduce him.
I would. This is a man that I just love so much and is so fun. And he's going to look a lot different for most of you who haven't seen him in a while, but he is an ECW original. He is Big Sal Graziano.
Hey.
Woo! Salboski, if
What's
you will.
going on?
What's with the mask, son? Where are you?
I'm actually I left work and I'm in between visits. I'm in between appointments today, so.
Well, I thank you for fitting us in.
It's you, and you're like, oh, you never talk to me. You never.
No, you don't. You ignore me.
I am gonna make time for Fritz.
Because he put. Shut up. You put my husband over every chance you get, but when it's me, it's just like, I don't even care. But I was explaining to people who have, who either think you're dead or just don't know like what's going on, how different you look now.
I got a lot of Valpuccio heat. Everybody.
Did you?
Yeah,
How funny. Not funny that, I'm not making light of death or anything, but yeah, I can see it a little bit.
Really? From where? He was like 6 foot.
No, he was bigger than 6 feet.
No, he was not.
I thought he was. But
anyhow.
Anyway, what? Do you have to come on here and argue? Can we just be friends?
You're the one arguing.
Let's just be friends.
You're the one
Let's just pretend we like
arguing
each
against
other.
what I'm telling you.
Do you know what I thought of the other day after I spoke to you?
What did
Do you remember? Sal and I were like friends, like outside, and I used to go to his house and hang out.
We were friends outside of normal things.
Of the business, right? Like it wasn't just I saw him, we talked and we hung out and stuff. Do you remember the time when we tried to make a movie and you were
when the guys, oh my God, the guys, we were supposed to just do a clip of him, and it took forever to do because nothing worked. It was fucking ridiculous.
We were
trying to curse on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were trying to make like I guess it was a horror movie.
It was a horror. It was supposed to be a clip of a horror movie, and it was supposed to be something that someone found footage. So we wanted to make it look like found footage,
like
of somebody being killed,
like Blair Witch
Project thing,
right?
Kind of.
And just nothing worked out for me. None of it worked.
The funniest is I'm sitting in a chair, right?
There was a movie on in the background too. We kept laughing at the stupid dialogue of the movie.
But Sal is telling me, okay, like, I'm going to like be like a killer kind of thing, and right. I'm gonna try and like choke you.
All we needed to do is get a clip. One solid clip of it.
Well, first of all, he kept like he's choking me, and it's like the lightest choke ever. And I'm like, Sal, put some energy into it. Do something, right? He's got his hands around me. What was I wearing? Because he kept going, okay, wait, stop. No, we have to lower this a little. And he would go like this to my blouse, like, oh, okay, that's better.
But it was nothing. It was nothing. It wasn't anything bad.
No, it wasn't.
It sounds horrible. Like now, like saying it sounds terrible.
We have to. Do you have that? I wish.
I have. So I have. I had all these different stuff that like me and friends did, and when we used to take Alka-Seltzer and put it on our mouths and like go out in public, and like just start spraying and spitting shit all over the place. I had all these tapes when I moved back from Kentucky back to Jersey. All the tapes disappeared. Like when I say disappeared, I mean they're gone. And I'm like,
weird.
The only thing I could think of, I'm like, did they get like? Now this is where it gets fucking funny because it would be great if this somewhere turned up. Somewhere like I left them in the apartment in Kentucky, and like the landlord found all these just random tapes of craziness.
The landlord found them and opened a YouTube channel, and now they're on, and we don't even know.
Yeah,
we're all over YouTube, but we don't even know.
Random people throwing up blood or fucking spitting up Alka-Seltzer in a supermarket.
Oh my God. I just thought of that, and I thought about all the stuff that we used to do, and I just started hysterical laughing.
Oh my God.
And before we get into like wrestling and stuff, tell everyone about the Mind Cup, because this thing Chad doesn't know. Chad, do you know Sal?
I never met Sal. I
Okay.
just, I've heard him
Sal.
on
This is
different
Chad.
podcasts before. Yeah, sorry, I'm
Okay.
sitting here like
Chad.
an idiot. Hey, what's up, Sal?
Don't feel
Sorry.
like an idiot. It's Francine's
No.
fault. She should have.
I'm the
She should have
idiot
been
here.
polite.
That's okay. It's all right.
So, well, I did it. Okay. I was just so jazzed to see you because I haven't seen your beautiful face in a very long time. So there we go. So Chad, there was this thing called the Mind Cup, and I'm going to let Sal explain it. But if you knew, you knew. And that's all I have to say.
So, okay, let me ask you a question, Chad. When you were a kid and you were bored and like your mom and dad were doing something and you were stuck there with them, that was your most dangerous time as a kid because you're bored and you're going to look for shit to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that's when you become an asshole kid. And that's when you become agitated.
Or an asshole adult.
Right. This all came from us waiting to do promos, waiting for checks, waiting for everything. We were always stuck somewhere waiting. And my hobby in travel used to be to collect big gulp cups. Like the old school 7-Eleven plastic big gulp cups. And I had a collection, no joke. I didn't have one real glass in my house. I had nothing but big gulp cups. So I had these big gulp cups, and I think it was at the first time was me and I think Steve Carino. And we were sitting up in a balcony, and I want to say it was Boston, but we were sitting in a balcony just waiting again for more shit. And we saw Raven walk by.
I love it because I know.
Yeah. Well, so we're sitting there, and Steve is sitting in front of me, and I just lean over and I start talking into the cup. These people are preposterous. I can't stand this. I'm here, and I have an IQ of 197. So I start talking as if I'm the voice inside of Raven's head. So Carino's laughing, I'm laughing, and that's how it was a dumb little one-time stupid joke that kept going. So at one point, me and Steve Carino are dying, and Franny comes walking in. She goes, "What are you doing?" So we're like, "Just sit down." So she sits down, and everybody's coming in and out, and we're anybody who walked through, we just had something to say about it. Well, their mind had something to say about it. And I wrote on the side of the glass Mind Cup that it was the inner workings of somebody's mind. You can hear everybody's inner thoughts.
So great.
And when Dreamer walked in, all we started, you just play Man in the Box, because that's all that's going through his head 24/7. That's the only thing.
That's great.
Walks in, I hate this place.
That's so great. I hate this place. Oh my God. I never got to hear my mind.
No, you were always sitting up top where we were.
I think I planned that because I didn't want you making fun of me. So I was like, oh, he's got that cup. I have to. But yeah. I that's one of the memories, there were so many positive things that came out of like our locker room just from the banter and the friendship. And I always remember the Mind Cup as just making me smile. And when you said you would do the show, I'm like, I have to bring the Mind Cup up because that was so fun.
Or the day Raven found out about the Mind Cup and he talked into a styrofoam cup.
It wasn't the same.
To do it, and I threw the Mind Cup away. I said, "Well, you ruined it."
Yeah, it wasn't.
I threw the plastic Mind Cup away in front of him, and he just looked and he was like, ugh.
It wasn't the same.
He's disgusted.
It was so great. Do you want to talk about the past or what you're doing now? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about, hey, Sal, how'd you get into wrestling? Can you tell us?
I walked into a gym and I paid a man $3,000.
Yeah, so you
trained? Me how to
trained?
fake fall, and
there you go. Who was your trainer, Sal?
Johnny Rods. Same
Johnny
as Devon,
Rods.
Tommy, and Taz, and
do you regret that day?
No, no. You know what? There were points when I did. I never because it was Johnny. Like honestly, being a mark going into the business, everybody is, right? Because everybody's like, "Oh, I can't wait to do it." And you think when you're back in the day, you're like, "Oh, Johnny Rods," and then, "Oh, I remember him. He was a jobber." People say that shit, and you're like, "Okay, well, now the time has come and passed." You realize guys like that are fucking legendary because they made they made their fucking life in this business that is so uncertain. You don't know if you're going to have your job tomorrow.
Right.
You know, hey, Jerry Briscoe, how you doing? No, great. The guy's been around forever, but like those guys have done these. They keep their spots because they know how to work. They're professionals, and I am never have I been so thankful that I've worked and that I was trained by a guy like Johnny Rods and guys like, and I got to meet guys like Dreamer, and Taz and all those dudes who you say whatever you want about them. Yeah, you know, socially they're probably stunted to kindergarten levels, but it's those guys. I love all of them. I love all. No, stop it. I don't need a job anymore from any of these people, so I don't give.
No, you don't. You can say whatever you want. Yeah. I don't care.
No, and it's not bad. I'm not. Let me tell you.
No,
something.
I know.
Here's the funny part. A lot of people, I've said stuff on interviews and stuff, and it's just how I feel, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, come on, does anybody care anymore? Is it really a big deal anymore? This shit, like, kayfabe's dead in most areas.
Yeah,
I don't know. A lot of fans think it's real now, though, Sal. I think a lot of fans today blurred the line of reality and the business. So, and we lost him. I guess there he is. I thought I kicked you off with that. I thought I blew your mind with that statement.
Fans think it's real. Fuck, I'm out. No, it's
different. It's different today, though, Sal, because like back then we didn't have social media. We talk about this all the time.
Right.
If we did, a lot of us would be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, right?
Yeah, but even to the point of kayfabe, like everything has changed. The business has changed. You know?
But that's what I'm saying with this interview, though. People take what you say and run with it because they kind of blur the line of what was real and what wasn't. So you say something like that, they go, "Oh my God, Sal just said that. Can you believe that?" And they run with it.
But then here's the thing. I was an 80s. I was an 80s kid. I grew up in the 80s watching 80s wrestling, and that ruled. You know what I mean? That was how it worked. Being in the business, of course, never meet your heroes, which learned hard way.
I'm sorry I disappointed you.
How old do you think you are?
I know how old I am.
Uh-huh.
I never lie about my age, kiddo. Never.
You see, you threw me off now.
Nah.
But no, but like, we grew up in a different time, especially ECW. ECW kind of shrugged off the cartoon. We have our cartoon gimmicks, that sort of thing. And ECW shrugged it off, and guys were using their names, and it wasn't so much, oh, we can't be seen together, that sort of thing. Kayfabe started getting a little bit blurred now because it was disappearing. Mm-hmm. Now it's become everybody knows everything. Everybody knows, Francine's last name. Everybody knows what appearances she's gonna make. Everybody knows every fucking thing about. Oh, she had a gynecological appointment because her fucking cooch was itchy. They all know. They all know because number one, because your husband puts out a memo every month.
No, he does not. I put a picture up of my knees in the gimmicks saying, "Oh, I wonder what's wrong with me today." On Twitter.
You put a picture of your knees up, and that sold for $600 in Japan.
In Japan.
that was
I'm over in Japan. I'm over in Tokyo, but not so much in the States. When and how did you come into ECW? For those who might not, you met the boys through Johnny Rods and stuff. So who brought you in?
I trained with Devon. I trained with Tommy. 91. I was a senior in high school.
91. Okay.
Yeah. And I trained with them. And that's when I started at Johnny Rods, 91. Devon, I met, he came through Johnny, and so did Tommy, all those guys. And then I think it was 90. I took a break because I went to school for a year, and I, was trying to be normal.
Yeah.
And then I came back and started, working indies again. And just talking to Devon, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, can you send us a tape?" And here it was. So again, I thought this was kind of a little bit of a rib. And I sent the tape figuring it would be Devon and Tommy watching this. And I sent a video clip. It was basically a promo tape of me just constantly just and it was repeatedly. It was so. I did it on 2 VCRs of me just dropping an elbow on Devon over and 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 over, and me like whipping Devon with a money bag that we did in Gleason's. We did a home show in Gleason's, and it was just me beating the shit out of Devon. And I just chopped it up, and then I would add all these little video effects because I figured it's a goof. And it was just, I found out everybody watched it.
You popped the boys,
everybody fucking watched it. And I was like, oh God.
And what year was this? I don't remember.
97.
97. Okay.
And Paul, I came into Queens actually. Mm-hmm. And I, brought my stuff, and they were like, "You want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I went. I did it. I did the deal with Spike. And I come walking in the back, and it was Shane Douglas. It was Bam Bam. It was Devon, Bubba. Everybody was there, and they all had like arms folded, and they all looked fucking ticked, right? And I'm like, oh shit. And Shane Douglas is sitting there, and now here I am. I'm like, and I come in the back, and I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say, and I'm just standing there like an asshole. And Shane Douglas goes, "Well, now you've done it." And I'm like, and I'm looking around like, what happened? Spike comes in the back, and normally, Spike will come up to you and be like, "Hey, thank you so much," yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Spike walked in the back, and he stopped because he saw everybody else. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do wrong? Okay. And Shane goes, "You did it. I can't believe it." And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And he goes, "Oh, you got a job here." I'm like, oh shit. And then Spike, "Thank you so much. Thank you." And everybody. Aww, and I was like, cool. What? I have to go change my pants because I just shit my pants.
How fun. Yeah. I remember when you first came in, you were like larger than life to me, like just your stature and the fit with the FBI. I think it worked so well for you. They
wanted to do with me. They were going to make me. They put me with Justin Credible's crew.
That didn't last long.
No, I was always in the schmaz with that at the end, and then they were going to put me with Danny and Chetty, and it was going to be Sally Nightlife, and I was going to hold a disco ball above them while they did their promos.
Oh yeah, I think I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, and then Paulie came up and he goes, "So Sal E. Graziano," and I'm like, "No," like an asshole. I'm like, "No, it's Valenti."
My last name. That's not my name.
And he goes, and he looks at me and he gives me the, like, "You're a little idiot. Look at you. You're a moron.
You're adorable.
You're a big idiot. Good for you."
I loved the pairing with Guido and Tony and whoever else was in that group. Tracy, yeah. Well, I really liked JT Smith in there in the early days because it was just so ridiculous, and it's just like you're looking at this faction and saying.
So ironically, I was getting back into indies and stuff, and I caught ECW. I guess it was maybe 95. Mm-hmm. Might be 1995, 96. And I happened to catch it on MSG late at night. I was hanging out with my friends, and we saw 901 and Taz doing the deal. And I'm like, and I watched them. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That's what everybody says when they first
JT came out and they were doing the bit. And I go, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And I laughed about it. And I remember saying, I'm like, that ain't going to last.
Really?
Yeah, I remember thinking.
The gimmick or the show?
The show.
Really?
And I'm like, because I liked, so here's the thing. Anything I like goes away very quickly. If they have a new flavor of coffee somewhere and I'm like, I love this shit, they discontinue it that week. If I like the show, they're like, cool, ratings pulled.
Cursed.
And so when I saw this, I remember thinking, going, this is really cool. It looks like fucking handy cams and, like walking around like handheld cams. This is cool. I like this. And I remember going, it's not going to last now. And then ironically, a friend of mine, when I got the job, a friend of mine was like, do you remember we were in your fucking basement watching this? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So
it's funny how life works out,
Mm-hmm. And then to go ahead and meet people that I knew from high school. You know what I mean? Like people who, like Dawn. Dawn lived in our area.
Mm-hmm.
Me and her knew each other from passing, and people never.
Right.
Come to find out, I did a show with Ben Hameen. I did a show with him, and come to find out, Greek God Papa Don used to live in Rosedale in my neighborhood. So like,
you didn't even know.
We never knew. He was in my brother's grade. He was in the same school at PS 138. We all went to the same. Like, it's just so fucking weird that through the business, all the people that lived right with each other, we never knew.
Do you consider it the best time of your career?
Of my career, sure.
Yeah. I've never talked to somebody from ECW who says that it wasn't, that they had more fun in like another Fed or somewhere else. You know,
and you know what it is? It's because we're all fucked up. It's because we're all fucked up, and
I like to think it's because we're all friends and we all had a good time.
But why are we friends? Because we're all fucked up. We all gravitated to each other. It's the land of misfit toys.
Okay, some of us more than others. We just have to state that because some of us weren't as bad as others.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. We all so here's the thing. We all were fucked up in some way or another. Some guys it was drugs, some guys it was sex, some guys or girls it was 1,000 other things. But we were all fucked up, and that was the thing. The thing was, we didn't want to be anywhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we all were happy being there because we were all accepted with each other.
Okay, it's nice that you mentioned that because I tell a story on here. I've told a story rather. When I got offered to jump to WWF, and it was early, or I think I was with the Pitbulls. It was very early, and I was so comfortable with ECW and so green. And I was number one, I was afraid, but for the most part, I loved everybody in the locker room, and I didn't want to go, no matter how much money they were going to offer me. I stayed making peanuts because this was my home and this is where I wanted to be. If you got a call, maybe you did, I don't know. If they wanted to pull you, do you think you would have left, or do you? So you got an offer.
It wasn't WWE, but yeah.
WCW.
And then I just
tell us.
Here's the other thing too. A little inside baseball, I guess. I didn't know what to do at this point, so I had an agent come to me, and he was like, "Oh, I want to do movies and this and that." I said, "Okay, cool, man, I'm down." But then he wanted to get more involved in wrestling. He was more of an entertainment agent. He wanted to get involved in wrestling, so he wanted to get his foot in the door that way. And he's like, "Oh, we can do this, we could do this, we can do that, we can do all kinds of things." And I didn't want to, because like number one, I was like a year in at ECW.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't want to leave here, number one, and I don't want to rock the boat that I'm here. So at that point, I wound up, I went separate ways with the agent, because I'm like, we just want two different things. You want to get in, and I don't want to bring you in here because it's not my place. I don't know anything. I'm still green here. So
did he want to get in to maybe be in the business, or did he want to get in to use other talent for his projects?
He went on to work with a couple of guys, like a couple of big names, and I have no issue with him. I have no heat, but it was just at the time I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want things to change. Great, yeah. If they would have offered more money, I'd have been like, yes, please. But I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to change what I was doing.
What is the WCW story? Tell people.
Well, that's more or less the story.
So this agent came from Atlanta, and
he knew people. He had an in. He had some people that he was talking to. Yada yada yada. And I decided not to go. I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. He's like, no, but it could be more money. It'll be less travel. I said, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So we don't really know what the offer was.
Well, that's the thing. This isn't I'm not gonna. I just don't want to throw out his name because, like I said,
Yeah, you don't have to tell his name.
but again, like it was offered to me to do this, and we can get you in, and I didn't want to because also I think and again, I don't want to make this a fucking deep show on psychology.
No, you can, because that was the theme of our Patreon.
You missed that by about an hour.
I actually cried my eyes out earlier, and that's why my makeup is so messed up.
Oh, is this therapy? Are we doing therapy? Okay,
it was therapy.
So I think we all have. Some of us have a self-sabotage thing where we didn't want to put ourselves out there. Like if somebody would have came and said, "We're going to put you in a WWE as the champ." Top shelf shit. People would be like, "Oh yeah, I'd love that." There's a lot of pressure with that because you don't know if you're going to keep that job for more than a week. So, again, it's one of those things. If I'm good where I am, I can build on what I'm doing here.
I liked being a big fish in a small pond. I like that a lot, rather than being in deep waters and not knowing my way around. That scared me. And,
the fish nickname never stuck with you, thankfully. But
thankfully, yes. But no, that's interesting. I didn't know about the WCW thing. So say you heard it here first. I deliver the goods,
exclusive
as always. Tell everybody what you're doing now.
I'm working. Actually, I went back to a company that I was working with a while back. Actually, last time we were together, and I did an interview with Bill Apter.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh.
Yeah, and I'm working back with special needs adults who are working in the community.
Awesome.
And I job coach them.
God forbid. Okay.
What do you mean? How dare you?
You're the coach. Could
How
you imagine?
Dare you?
You're sitting there, and Big Sal walks in as your coach. Do you use the mind cup? Do you let them?
That's a tactic.
Yeah.
No, see, I can go in, and it's funny because I go in and I'm very, like, I try to be casual with them, with my guys, and they just are all. I'll come in, I'll be like, so how are we doing today? And the guy's like, today fucking sucks. I'm like, whoa, easy.
No filter. I like it.
Oh, it's wonderful. It is.
That's
wonderful.
A great job, though. You're doing good work.
And I'll tell you what, I got such a jump on working with developmental disabled people from working in ECW. I'll be honest.
You're an idiot.
Some of the guys I've worked with.
I do love you, but you're an idiot. Are you still doing the thing over on Russo's network? Do you want to plug that?
Oh yeah, we do the Conspiracy Horsemen.
Okay.
And then we have the Horror Junkyard, which is my show. Me, my friend Chuck, and our friend Kat. We review awful horror movies.
I love it.
Video games. We cover all of it. Everything in the horror business. We try. And it started out kind of as a let's do this. Like, you want to do it? Like, okay, let's do it. And then we just started doing it. And Ben was like, well, put it on the network.
That's awesome.
We've made it a full show out of it now. It's like, cool.
Okay, so if
I can, let me just interrupt. I could say the Conspiracy Horseman is great. I mean, there's no two ways around it. I mean, that you want to talk about some topics that come by that can really mess with the old noodle and get you thinking. It's always fun to get the 4 different takes that you guys have.
We just had Richard Gage on, one of the architects for he has he follows the truth of 9/11. Ooh. And he has all the scientific facts and all these issues that people ignore. So he came on. He was a great guest. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be really stiff and stodgy, and I was like, I wasn't kind of looking forward to it. I was worried. He got on. My man was ready to go. He took his jacket off. He threatened Stevie. He was off.
He took his jacket off.
Yeah, he pulled his jacket off at the end of the show, right? And we're like, anytime you want to go, and he goes, right now. He took his jacket off and he goes, and I'll go right after that guy on the right lower hand corner. And it was Steve. So we
That's
just
great.
Richard Gage wants to punch Stevie Richards right in the face.
Okay. I'd pay to see that. I'd pay $1 for that match. That would be good. So if they want to see you, they go to the Russo Network, and you got a couple of things going on.
And then on Hameen Media Network, we're the Horror Junkyard. So we got some more stuff coming up. We're going to be maybe going to more conventions once
I hope so. I hope to see you next year. I'm not doing anything this year just because this year was a shit show. Well, you know, a little thing here and there is happening out there if you didn't hear about it. But hopefully 2021 we can get the gang back together and get that mind cup flowing again. I would enjoy that. So, you know, I kind of miss you.
I'm trying. Who was it? Somebody sent me the video of after you and beautiful Billy doing an interview, and I kept fucking walking through.
He kept coming through and trying to like interrupt, and I just kept going, Sal, would you get the hell out of here? Like,
here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Now you were there. You've seen it. At any point, did it seem like I have heat with you?
Oh, well, I think Bill thought. I think we're such good workers that Bill was thinking.
Because somebody sent me the video, the link, and they're like, I didn't realize you had heat with Franny. And I'm like, wait, when I watched the video, I'm like, wait, how do you get heat out of that? I'm like, if anything, like, just what is it? We
were just kidding around with each other. That's what I'm saying. Because people don't know the dynamic between you and I or between anybody in that locker room. Like, we could go on social media and have a fake fight and they'll believe it. And then we're texting each other, oh my God, do you believe that they're falling for this? I mean, gullible.
That convention, I walked by, there was a group around RVD, and I walked by and I shouldered him. Right. And I shouldered him, and he walked and he went, how? And I go, move your fucking arm. And I just kept walking. Right. And he stopped and he looked. Somebody caught a picture of him doing this. Like, heat. Yeah. And it's like, and then he turned around and he's like, oh, hey, John, what's up? And I'm like, hey, I'm like, how you doing? And so we started, but they completely didn't take those pictures. They got the picture of me fucking bumping him and him turning like this and giving the fucking look. And I'm like,
it's great. Because they want to stir stuff up. Everybody's like, that's what we were saying earlier. You always hear of negative things because people love controversy.
Yeah.
People don't put over the positive enough in life. And it's unfortunate. But I mean, we're workers. We're workers until we die. We can work anyone. So that's just in our blood. That's how it is. I hate your guts. I never want you on my show again.
Well,
wink, wink.
If Chad leaves, then what? It's just gonna be
then
I was just say it was a pleasure to have him. You don't have to be so mean to him. Jeez, I thought it was such a pleasure to have him on.
He's the biggest asshole I've ever met in my life is right there on the screen. But seriously, I have not talked to you.
Fine.
What'd you say?
I thought you were talking about measurements of assholes, and I said I know a girl who has a way bigger asshole than mine.
Oh my, I don't know. But it was
actually
really,
I think you do know.
Do I? Oh, we'll talk about that later. I'm not really sure who that is. But this was fun. I love getting the boys on and going down memory lane. So I'm glad you finally came on because I've only been after you for, I don't know, months now.
Yeah, she said that. And then this will be the, oh, you're never around. Hey, when are you doing it? Well, I can't do it today. How about
Excuse me. Did I not invite you and your wife to my house right after you got married? Yes.
I don't know.
How long have you been married?
Bad memories.
How long have you been married?
Dude, I try not to remember.
How long have you been married?
Hang on. So 10, 12, 13.
7 years.
7 years?
7 years ago, I say to Sal, come over, have dinner with me and my family. 7 years.
If I would have killed 7 years ago, I might be getting out by now.
Well, thanks, dickhead. Anyway, offer still stands if you want to come over after the pandemic.
Is that okay?
Oh, whatever. We'll keep in touch. Thanks for coming on. Oh, where can people find you? You don't tweet.
No, I don't. I'm off Facebook. I don't tweet.
You're the worst. You're
Instagram things.
You're not good. You're not good with the social media.
Fuck social media. Fuck everybody on it.
Okay, well, fuck you, and thanks for coming on, and love you, and we will.
Wait, I got plugs. I do have.
Oh no. Okay, go ahead.
So, and I'm terrible at this. Like, if I did not have the guys with me on the show, I would never put my own shit over because I don't remember it.
That's why social media is important.
The Horror Junkyard at protonmail.com. That's how you can get us in the Horror Junkyard. I have a phone number. It's a hotline you can call us, but I don't remember it right now. So
that's a great perk. You can't remember it.
He's the worst. He's the worst. Oh my gosh.
Hameen Media Network. You can look on there. You can get The Horseman. You can get all of our shows. You're on the Russo network.
No, I'm not. I'm off the network.
What did you do?
I pulled myself.
Why?
Because I have a Patreon and people were getting confused. Why do I have to go on Russo's Patreon when I'm on your Patreon? They couldn't hear my podcast.
Oh.
So I said, this isn't helping, Vince. I got to go.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, like everybody's involved in the Vince Russo brand stuff. And Vince is another guy I knew back from Johnny Rod's days when he used to own a video store.
Right. He discussed that on my show as well, his video store.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
all right, doll. Well, get on Twitter.
Get us live on Twitch, Conspiracy Horseman with Twitch TV / Conspiracy Horseman, something like that. And then Horror Junkyard, we don't do it live, but after on Wednesdays, my producer Chuck, we do it's twitchtv.com / Horror Junkyard. And we do live video game streaming. So we fuck off there and just make fun of people.
Awesome. So. Well, when this comes out, we will promote your stuff because you don't. So I will, and I will help you.
I have other people that do it. They want to do it.
I got people. Good. Okay. You're good. You're awesome. Glad to see you. Keep in touch.
Chad, it was very nice meeting you.
Same here.
Tell your lovely husband I will speak to him soon.
He will speak to you soon.
Right.
Talks more to him than he does to me. Thanks a lot. Or he's saying hello. All right, love. Good to see you. Talk to you guys
soon. Later,
Bye.
Sal. Take care.
You big jerk. All right.
And there goes Big Sal.
I got that in.
Or not so Big Sal. I mean, he's not as big as he used to be.
No, and that's why I said a lot of people probably won't recognize him. He lost a ton of weight. So he walks into conventions and like everybody's like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's Big Sal Graziano. So yeah.
And for our people, I mean, we talked about Sal a couple weeks ago when we talked about the Scott Hall in ECW. We talked about Sal a lot. So
yes.
There's a frame of reference.
Yeah, he's an old dear friend of mine and one of the people I keep in touch with, but I haven't really seen him. We see each other at conventions, but tried to get him to come for dinner and the lazy won't come over, so.
I love the story though about the Mind Cup. Like that's the cool shit I like to hear about backstage. Yeah, I'd rather hear that shit all day long than who's dropped toe hold was better than the other guy.
we did so many things with the Mind Cups in different towns. Like that cup was all over the place.
That's great.
It was such fun. Just keeping ourselves busy and having a good time. So.
But like you said, waiting for checks and waiting for promos, and we know you had to finally you had to wait a long time for both of those, so
yeah, we needed
a lot of time.
So it was nice to have him on. Just know that we love you and we appreciate you and we thank you for being a part of our family, and that's a wrap.